All right, I think we're good. All right, perfect. So, what we're going to go over tonight, guys, is the initial financial needs analysis that I do with a client when I meet with them for the first time. So when I meet with them, I've already gone through with Karen, so I'm going to pin both of us actually real quick, and I'm going to try to go quick through this so you guys can ask some questions at the end. Um, but we have already done her initial appointment. She agreed to getting back on this call, right? So important to understand here is when I go through the kitchen table appointment with somebody or when I'm doing a client experience appointment, we are getting on the financial needs analysis to put them in a better position. Now, I'm going to just for the sake of this training, I'm going to assume that this is a kitchen table that turned into an FNA, meaning I met with her she wanted to meet back up to go over the financial needs analysis. Okay. And so we're gonna get moving on this. Mom, can you unmute yourself so we can do this? For anybody watching the
Yes.
recording in the future, Karen is my mom, if you don't know that. So if I call her mom, it's not weird. Okay. So all right, awesome. So we're gonna get started basically like we've already talked. We've already done the initial appointment. And we're on here to go over everything. So again, Karen is gonna be a single lady that I met with through a field training appointment. And she's gonna give me whatever info she wants to give me as if this were an FNA. So, hey Karen, how you doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to get back with you. Excited to go over the stuff that we talked about with your financial needs analysis. Karen, did you bring the documents, the like 401k statements and stuff like that that I told you to grab?
Yeah, they're right here.
Okay, perfect. Well, like I said, I'm excited to roll through this with you today and see if we can put you in a better spot. Now, Karen, like we talked about last time, we are doing this totally for free for you today. Okay, so I'm not going to ask you for a payment or anything like that for the financial needs analysis. But like I told you on that initial appointment, we do have two things that we ask for in lieu of a cash payment. The first thing being a couple referrals at the end of this, if we can put you in a better spot and you see value. Karen, were you able to think about a couple people that you'd be willing to refer at the end of this call, provided that you see value?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then Karen, as well, like we talked about before, if we're able to put you in a better spot, undeniably, it's a better situation for you after this call. Karen, would you still be willing to move forward with those recommendations that I potentially could make to you after we go through stuff today?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Well, Karen, excited to share my screen. We're going to jump right into it, okay? All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, Karen, what was your birthday again?
1025.
Okay.
You'd have to scroll a while.
1976,
68.
right?
Oh,
1968. Perfect. That's not her real age, guys. Don't let her lie to you. Um, all right, and then contact info. You do need to gather contact info. Why is this not working? Um, did I do something wrong? Florida English? Nope. Contact info. Cool. Maybe that's not going to work. Perfect. Let me try this on Google Chrome and see if it's going to work. One second. I think it's going to work. Yep. Okay. We're working now. Okay. Let me reshare this. Give me one second. Also, Mom, I made you a co-host, so I'll let people in if they get in the waiting room if I don't see it. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay. So female, you said October. That's September. October 25th, 68,
90.
1990. 1968. Perfect. And you are saving for retirement, Karen? Or are you within 5 years of retirement, or are you currently retired?
Still saving.
Okay,
Trying.
perfect. All right. And then guys, you will have to put well, no, you don't. Okay, perfect. You do have to do income though. Karen, how much annually do you make either or monthly or annually do you make before taxes?
Um, 60,000.
Okay. Monthly or annually? I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Uh,
monthly. No.
Perfect. Now, Karen, do you have any other monthly income at all, like child support or anything like that?
No.
Okay. And then about how much do you pay on your taxes monthly?
Um, I don't know. What
We'll
should I
say
put?
a
It's
thousand.
1,000. Okay.
About $1,000. Now, guys, if people have W-2s, they'll have those numbers right on their W-2 that they can pull up and look up. Okay. Um, and then Karen, you work at CVS still, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're the manager. And you've been there for what, 5 years?
Sure. Yes.
Sounds good. Um, now, Karen, do you normally receive a tax refund?
Yes.
How much do you anticipate getting back this year?
Well, probably only, it's only a little bit, like 500.
Okay. Awesome. Now, Karen, I don't know if you knew this or not, but or I guess not. I don't know if you knew this or not. Sorry. But Karen, do you know what a tax refund actually is?
Extra money. I don't know.
Yeah, it's extra money in March or whatever, right, each year. But Karen, ultimately, what a tax refund is the government is giving you back money that you overpaid on your taxes. Okay, now I know that sounds kind of self-explanatory. It's a tax refund, right? They're refunding you your taxes. But what happens in that instance, Karen, is basically you've given the IRS an extra $42 a month. And what they're doing is they're giving it back to you. So in theory, Karen, this might not make a big difference in your personal finances, but theoretically, you could claim less on your taxes and get $42 more a month in your bank account. Okay. Karen, is that something that you would be interested in talking a little bit more about, or are you okay with getting a $500 refund at the end of the year?
Um, sure, I'd talk about that.
Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to assume that she said she's okay with it, and frankly, I don't. Just to step out of the role playing for a second, what I typically do in that instance, guys, is if that number is less than $1,000 refund, I typically that's not my big fish to fry right there. I'm not gonna like really push on that a whole lot. But since she mentioned it, I would just explain the $42 a month investment, right? And I'm gonna touch, I'll bring that back around later when we get to the investment piece. But for now, we're gonna just assume that she said she's okay with getting that. So Karen, we're going to talk about what you currently have saved, and some of that information will be on the 401ks paperwork in front of you and stuff like that. So, Karen, what we assume is that you're going to retire at 67 and you're going to live till you're 86. Okay. Now we can adjust these later, but for today, we're going to just say that you're planning to retire at 67, and your life expectancy is 86 years old. Now, Karen, you're currently making $60,000 a year. How much have you ever thought about how much you would want to have in retirement in comparison to what you're making right now?
Um, no, probably should have similar.
Yeah, you should have. You want to be close, but let's be honest, like we should not have to pay as much because when we're done working, we should and retired, we shouldn't have a whole lot of debt, right? Kids are out of the house, all that type of stuff, right now. So for you, given that this is maybe 10 or so years away, what we want to make sure that we have is enough income to pay your bills, but not so much because you're not going to need to support your kids anymore. They should be moved out, taking care of themselves, paying their own bills and stuff like that. So we typically have people start at about 80% of their annual or monthly income. So for you, that's about $4,000 a month, where right now you're bringing home about five. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, Karen, do you plan on making any additional income during retirement?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe if I'm bored, I'll go find something.
Okay, let's say you're bored and you're making like an extra $500 a month starting at when you retire, and you're probably not going to want to do that forever. So let's say you do that for like 5 years.
Okay.
Okay, so you're making like an extra $500 a month. Um,
Yeah, Dave's
Karen,
been like combing the poo out of it and trimmed it some.
hang on, hang on. All right. So Karen, do you plan on leaving an estate to your heirs, to your kids?
Um, yeah, I'd like to.
Okay. And how much is it that you think you'd like to leave behind?
For each of them.
Yeah, well, only for your favorite, your eldest.
Well, probably like 25,000 or so each.
Each? Okay, perfect.
I have
So that
three kids.
would be 75,000. Okay, perfect. Um, and then benefits. Now, Karen, based on like the current economic climate and the current economy, do you think that you'll be receiving Social Security benefits when you retire?
Oh, probably not. But
Okay.
I don't know, maybe, hopefully.
Okay. So Karen, my opinion is that with your age and the closeness to being 67 that you are, if you were 25, this might be a different conversation, but being 57, you're 10 years away, I think it's worth checking the box of assuming that you're going to have some type of Social Security. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, guys, if I'm talking to like Marissa or Alyssa, I'm gonna tell you guys, let's probably not bank on Social Security. We're gonna uncheck that box for now. Okay. Just given the current economic climate. Now, if somebody's like adamant on not checking that box, then don't check it. And vice versa. If they're like, no, definitely I'm for sure gonna have Social Security. Okay, fine, we'll check it. No big deal. Now, Karen, are you gonna have a monthly pension from any other jobs, any past careers or jobs that you've had?
No,
Okay. Um, and Karen, how much do you currently have saved for retirement right now?
125,000. Not
125,000.
very much.
That's all right. Now are any of these saved from a previous employer, Karen?
Yes.
Okay. And have you rolled those over into a personal account, an IRA or like a high yield savings or an annuity or anything like that?
No, haven't done anything
No?
with it.
Okay. And do you contribute anything monthly to this number?
No, not anymore.
Okay. And is your employer probably doesn't either then, right?
No.
Okay. And do you have any other money available at retirement as far as you know?
Um, no, I don't think so.
Okay. And then non-retirement assets, Karen. So this is not money that you're banking to use, 10, 15 years from now. This is money that you just kind of have set aside right now for new car, new house, anything like that. Do you have any money currently saved up for that?
Yeah, 2,000.
Okay. And then do you contribute monthly to that number?
Yeah, about $100.
All right, perfect. So the results, Karen, they're going to pop up on the screen. Don't be shocked by anything that you see. But again, just to reiterate, our retirement age is 67, or yeah, your retirement age is 67, so 10 years from now. Life expectancy is 86. That's 19 years that you'll live in retirement. Your current retirement savings is $125,000. You're not saving anything monthly. We're assuming a 3% inflation rate. And our rate of return before retirement, we're assuming 8%, which I'm going to be really transparent with you. That is very, very low. But we're assuming 8%. Okay. And then we're assuming a 4% rate of return in retirement. Okay. Now, your current monthly income is $5,000 a month. Your income goal in today's money is $4,000 a month. But when you go to retire, it's going to be $5,400 a month that you're going to need to make up that 80% of feeling like you're making 80% of what you're making now when you go to retire with inflation. Okay.
Hmm.
So, Karen, your financial independence number, I'm going to write this down, is $670,421. Okay, $670,421. And this, Karen, is a number that is going to help you be financially independent. Karen, what do you think financially independent means?
Um, I don't know exactly. Just to be able to live with that money, I guess.
Yeah, so basically financially independent essentially just means that you're going to be able to not have to work and your income is going to continue to come in for the remainder of your life. Okay, now where you currently stand with no money being attributed monthly, and a total of $125,000 right now, at an 8% interest rate, your total retirement fund accumulated is going to be about 277,000, which Karen gives you a shortfall of 392,000. Okay. Now, at an 8% rate of return, which again, to be transparent with you, is not great, you're going to need to invest an additional $2,134. Okay. So, Karen, before you freak out and say, like, that's impossible, I don't have an extra 2 grand, that's okay. I'm going to go to something that I like to show people, Money Chimp investment calculator. So the Money Chimp investment calculator is a compound interest calculator that I really like. Um, and now I'm also going to Google something real quick for you, Karen. What I'm going to do is show you what mutual funds average. over a 10-year period. Okay. So a mutual fund is what we typically help people invest in. Now, a mutual fund, like right here, so over the past 10 years, US large cap stock mutual funds have averaged an annualized return of approximately 11.3 to 12.5%. Okay, now bond funds are lower. Okay, so essentially, Karen, what we're going to do for the sake of argument is we're going to go off of the low end of this, okay, 11.3%, the low end of the average.
Well, that's
All right,
better
and
than
we're going to
8%.
go, what's that?
That's better than 8%.
It's definitely better than 8%. Now we're going to go off that $125,000 number. Whoops, that's 120,000. 125,000. And again, you're not putting anything in right now. And you have 10 years until retirement. We're going to say 11.3%. And we're going to hit calculate. What that's going to do, Karen, is that's going to show that in the next 10 years, you're going to have accumulated about 364,000. Okay, now your retirement number was 670,000. So it's what about 300,000 short still, even with an 11% rate of return. So Karen, the reality is you're definitely going to need to invest a little bit more money and able to, or in order to get yourself to retirement. Okay. But once we get this investment number figured out of exactly what that's going to look like, what we're going to need to do is figure out how we can best maximize your investments to get you to where you need to be. Okay, so we're going to cross that bridge in a few minutes. But what I want to do is look at some debt numbers for you as well, because we're trying to paint a full picture right now.
Mhm.
And part of that full picture is also your debt. So Karen, do you currently have a mortgage on the house that you live in right now?
No, just renting.
Okay. And do you have any other debts? Car loans, credit cards, Costco credit cards, anything like that?
Uh, a car loan.
Okay. What is the current balance on your car?
12,000, about 12,200.
And what's your monthly payment?
300.
And your interest rate?
7%. I don't
Okay.
know.
Any other debts?
A credit card.
Okay. And how much do you owe on that?
750.
And what's your minimum payment for that?
75.
And do you know your interest rate?
I have that here. 12%.
12%. That's a pretty solid credit card. Um, all right, perfect. Now, what I'm gonna do here is, well, do you have any other debts?
Yeah, one more credit card.
Okay. And how much do you owe on that one?
325.
And what's your payment?
50.
And what is your interest rate?
18%.
All right, perfect. Um, so we're gonna hit results, and what it's gonna do is gonna show us how we can pay off your debt faster. So Karen, currently, the way you're paying everything off right now, it's gonna take you 15 years for you to get out of debt. Okay. So you're gonna be 72, and then you'll be out of debt, and you're paying $425 a month. Does that sound about right for what you're paying for all your debts and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, Karen, if you follow the process I'm going to show you in just a second, we're going to be able to get you out of debt by the time you're 60. Okay. Does that sound better than 72?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So what I'm going to do then is hit details, and that's going to show you how to pay off your debt faster. So Karen, what I want you to do with all the debts that you have currently is just pay your minimum payment. Okay. If you just pay your minimum monthly payment on everything that you have, what's going to happen is you're going to pay off this $325 credit card in June of 2026. Okay. Now, Karen, what most people do when they free up 50 bucks a month is they go spend it, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to take that $50 a month and we're going to roll that down into your other credit card with a higher balance. And now you're going to pay $125 a month on that one. Okay. And then that one's going to be paid off in September of 2026. And then Karen, you're gonna have an extra $125 a month that you can throw onto that car payment. And then that car is going to be paid off in October of 2028. It's early birthday present for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to pay off that car and you'll be debt free by the time your birthday rolls around in 2028. Does that sound good?
Yeah, does.
Awesome. Now, what we can do is we can also add an additional monthly payment. So, Karen, let's just say that you took your $100 a month that you're putting into your savings account
Mm-hmm.
and you put that towards your debt instead. So what you'd be able to do then is pay off your credit card by your second credit card, your small balance credit card by February of 2026. So like 4 years or excuse me, 4 months earlier. Okay. Then you'd be able to pay off your other credit card by May, which is that's 4 months earlier as well. And then you'd be able to pay off your car by March of 2028. Okay, so in a whole, you'd be able to get out of debt 6 months earlier. Now that might not sound like a huge deal, but Karen, then you'll have an additional $425 a month for 6 months that you're able to invest. Okay, that's almost an extra $3,000, rough math, maybe 2,500 that you'd be able to turn around and put into your investments, which would help you get to that retirement number just a little bit earlier. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Karen, do you think you could swing putting that extra $100 a month towards your credit cards instead of towards your personal debt, or sorry, instead of towards your savings account?
Yes. I might be able to save some more too.
Okay, awesome. Now I'm going to pause for a second, guys, and just kind of talk to you. So in on this screen, there's nothing really to see on that screen, but in that area of the FNA, when I'm talking to somebody about getting out of debt, I'm just trying to help them understand how they can get out of debt faster. Right now, so let's say Karen pushed back a little bit on that $100 a month. If she pushed back to me on that $100 a month, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to tell her, well, Karen, you're paying off credit cards. Right. So, Karen, let's just say worst case scenario hits and you've paid off all your credit cards. You have the $2,000 in your savings account, but you also now have an extra $1,000 in your credit cards that's available for you to use if needed. Right? So you've paid those off, which has helped boost your credit and help you get out of debt. You have $2,000 saved. Now you have an additional $1,000 available in your credit line that's not pulling negative interest on your finances. Okay. So you're not necessarily like, not even necessarily like, I would basically tell her, like, you're not investing this money. This isn't going to accumulate in a savings account, something that you can use as a down payment on something, but that $1,000 is still available if you need it. Okay, because when you pay off those credit cards, they're not taking that credit away from you. They're still giving you the credit. So you can use it if needed. Does that make sense, guys? How I would kind of attack that if she pushed back a little bit? Because at the end of the day, like, we don't get if she pays that $100 a month to get out of debt, or if she puts it in her investment account, or not investment account, but her savings account or anything like that, like, we're not getting paid off that either way. Right? So like we don't really have a horse in the race, so to speak here. But what we're doing is showing her how paying that off her credit still is going to give her that like buffer space that she might need if needed. Does it make sense? You with me? Put yes in the Zoom chat if you're paying attention. I can't tell because all y'all got your cameras off tonight. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to jump back into it. All right, so debt repayment is done. So Karen, you can commit to paying this off and following this process, right?
Yes.
Cool. I'm gonna share my screen, take a screenshot of it. Okay, she screenshotted it. Perfect. We're done.
Mhm.
Perfect. All right, we're gonna move on to life insurance real quick. Um, so Karen, what is your total life insurance coverage that you have right now through your job and all those other things?
Just like I think it's $25,000.
Okay. You have 25,000. And do you pay for that or is that free from work?
I think it's free.
Okay. Awesome. And let's see, assets. So Karen, you have $125,000 saved for retirement right now. Then we already went through all of this. And you have $2,000 saved up. Perfect. Now needs, your income is 60,000. Now, Karen, do you have any dependents that rely on your income or no?
No.
And I know you said you have some kids, but they're like on their own. They've all kind of moved out at this point, and like
Yes,
God forbid something were to happen, they'd be able to get by, right?
hopefully.
Okay, yeah, hopefully is right. Uh, perfect. Okay, so we don't need to pay off your mortgage. Karen, if you were to pass away, would you want to leave back enough money to be able to take care of your just your car payment and stuff like that for whoever's gonna have to clean stuff up?
Yes. Take
And
care
would
of
you
that
want what's that?
funeral. Yeah, that and funeral and that extra money I said about giving to my kids.
Okay. So your funeral expense, we're gonna say about 15,000. Um, and then Karen, do you use tobacco or nicotine?
No,
Have you ever had any issues qualifying for life insurance?
no,
And anybody under 65 that you know, mom or dad passed away prior to, sorry,
no,
I can't read. Has any person that you know passed away prior to the age of 65 as a result of cardiovascular illness or cancer? Sorry, either of your parents. Goodness
no.
gracious, guys, I'm struggling. Okay. And how tall are you? 5,
5'8".
and you're what? 147. Perfect. Great.
Thank you.
Um, awesome. Um, so when we look at this, what we're saying here is your income replacement needs is 678,000. You need $28,000 of cash, but you have $125,000 in assets. So according to this, you need $582,000 of life insurance. But Karen, you said you don't have any dependents, correct?
Correct.
So there's not really a need for income replacement, right?
Correct.
Okay. So what I like to do, guys, in this instance, if I'm talking with somebody who is a little bit older, their kids are grown out on their own, she wants to leave back a little bit of money for the family. I'm not going to try to sell her a $500,000 life insurance policy, right? Because she's 57, it's going to be $400 a month, right? I'd rather her invest that. I do think based on, then I'm gonna switch back. So Karen, I do think based on what you shared with me that you do need life insurance, but I do, if I can just be honest with you, think that the number that the calculator spit out for us is a little bit high. We don't need to replace your income for 15 years because you don't have any dependents, but you do want to leave a little bit of money back for the kids. And we can handle that right here by just doing a little two year dollar amount, right? It's $120,000. So you'd be able to leave about 40,000 for each kid in that instance. Okay. Now, if we look at the result here, what this is saying that you have your assets of 125,000, your income replacement is 115,000, your shortfall is $19,000. Okay. So based on the life insurance, the income replacement needs that we have, your immediate cash needs, and the money that you currently have that you'd be able to leave behind, you need an additional $19,000 of life insurance. Okay. So for me, the way I look at this, guys, is what I would do for her is I would probably try to sell Karen in this case about a $50,000 life insurance policy. Okay. And I'm just going to mark this down on my notepad of about a $50,000 policy. And I'm really going to sell that to the fact that that life insurance policy. So the way I'll kind of word it to you guys, how I'd word it to her. So Karen, what I think would make sense for you is somewhere in the ballpark of a $50,000 life insurance policy outside of work. And I'm going to go over the why Primerica at the kitchen table stuff with her according to group life insurance, but I'm not going to do that for the sake of time. But I'm going to go over some of that stuff with her right there. So $50,000 of life insurance, Karen, what that's going to be able to do is that is going to take care of your funeral and burial. It's also going to take care of all of your debt. And you're going to have about 30, I'd say like 20 to 30,000 left over from that. But then Karen, you're also going to have your $125,000 that you have in your investments there as well. Okay, so if God forbid something were to happen to you tomorrow, you're going to have somewhere in the ballpark of 150,000 left over after all is said and done. And you said you have 3 kids, so that's 50,000 to each one, right? If we were able to do it that way. Okay, Karen, does that make sense? Do you see the value in having $50,000 of life insurance to take care of stuff, be able to leave a little bit more for your kids and take care of everything?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. And so, guys, if I'm at that point with her, I'm going to go right into the Life app at that point. Okay. So let's see. You have no kids, so no educational needs. Goals and dreams. I don't, guys, I don't do this on the first financial needs analysis. Okay. I do this, but not on the first one. Because as you can see, I'm already 25 minutes into the financial needs analysis. Sure, I've stepped out of it a few times to coach you guys a little bit. My goal on these calls, every call I have with one of my clients, my goal is without any of the closing of business is that it's about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, so the last thing I'm doing on this call with Karen is I'm going to go over her budget. Okay, I want to go over her monthly budget so I can see what she's spending. So I'm going to skip all the way to the budget and financial position. Okay, I'm skipping to the budget and financial position. And guys, I'm going to be real. Like Jerome very well might say that you should do the whole thing. And I'm not going to disagree with that. But for me personally, what I like to do is I like to do the very first appointment. I just want to keep the main thing, which is getting out of debt, investing, and having life insurance. Okay, we all can agree based on everything we've gone over so far that Karen, in this instance, she needs a little bit of life insurance. Not a lot. She doesn't need hundreds of thousands. She needs 25 to 50,000. She needs to be investing more and she needs to get out of debt. Can we all agree on that? Put in the chat, yes or no. Can we all agree on those three things? Okay. So I also know that Karen is making $5,000 a month. Okay, but she's paying $1,000 in taxes. That's leaving me $4,000 a month to be able to work with. But she has $425 a month in her debt payments, which leaves us currently with $3,575 a month that we have to work with. So now I'm going to go to the budget sheet and I'm going to figure out exactly how much of that 3,575 is still left. Okay, so Karen, monthly, how much do you currently pay for your rent?
1,500.
Okay. And how much do you pay for your phone bill?
65.
Okay. Do you pay for cable or satellite internet, anything like that?
Yeah, I think it's about 100 for that and Wi-Fi.
Okay. And how much is your electric and gas and utilities and stuff like that each month?
Um, 250.
And do you pay for trash?
No.
And how much monthly do you think you have to pay in like maintenance and repairs around the house?
Oh, nothing. I rent.
Okay.
So
So probably no home improvements either. Do you have anything, any like household help that comes around and helps, like a cleaner or anything like that?
in my dreams, but no.
And do you pay lawn services? Probably not. Do you have to pay any like HOA rental fees or rental management fees or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Any other housing related expenses?
Um, I don't think so.
Okay. How much do you pay for groceries each month or each week, roughly?
Mm, Probably for a month, maybe 400.
Okay, about $100 a week or so.
Yeah.
Okay, and how much do you spend, do you think, a month on like new clothes? And it might not be a monthly amount, maybe it's every 3 months you're spending a couple $100, but how much do you think you spend on clothing?
On average, probably not much because I don't $25. I don't buy much.
Okay. And then prescriptions, do you have any prescriptions that you pay for monthly?
No.
Do you have any like laundry or dry cleaning expenses?
No.
Any child care, student loans, child support, anything like that?
Nope.
Any babysitters?
For my adult kids, yes. Just kidding.
Okay. you wanted to
My
pay for some
oldest.
babysitters, I wouldn't be mad. All right, perfect. And then any other family related expenses?
Um, I don't like gifts or something, maybe.
All right, perfect. That's down here. How
Mhm.
much do you give to charities, if anything, monthly?
Um, about 400 to tithe.
Okay. Do you do anything non-charitable giving at all?
No.
Okay. And how much do you think you spend a month on gifts?
Maybe average $50.
All right. And then any other like giving expenses here?
Mm, I don't think so.
All right. And then transportation. So how much do you pay for gas a month or a week roughly?
Mm, I don't go very far, so maybe $20 a week.
Okay, so about 80, let's call it like 100 a month for gas. And then how often do you get an oil change roughly?
Every 3 or 4 months.
What's it like $100 every time you do that roughly?
Mm, little less, maybe 75.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is put 125 for each month. It's basically saying you're budgeting out about $25 a month for your oil change, okay? Um, and then do you have any like other maintenance or repairs, stuff like that for your car monthly or regularly at all?
Not yet.
Okay. But you have to think, you got to factor in like brakes and tires and stuff like that, say maybe once a year for brakes and every couple of years for tires. So let's say another maybe $50 a month there. Is that fair?
Okay.
Awesome. Monthly car wash subscription. Yeah. Do you have a car wash subscription? Um,
Yes, it's 1995.
oh, perfect. Okay. Good job, Leah. Thanks for helping me out with that one. I forgot.
Just
Um,
kidding.
$20 a month. Hey, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, those car wash subscriptions, it's not a bad deal at all. Like they get you, they get you. It's like $25 a month for unlimited washes or 24.99 for one. It's the worst. So all right. And then Karen, how much do you spend on vacations monthly, roughly? I mean, it's probably not a vacation every month, but maybe every 3 months you go somewhere, every 6 months. About how much do you think you spend?
Um, maybe 100.
And how much do you spend on hobbies roughly every month?
Nothing. It's just doing yeah, I don't need to pay for it. I don't have any club memberships either.
How much do you spend out to eat each month, roughly?
Mm, I'll go out to eat maybe $50.
And you go to the movies, rent stuff, anything like that?
For
What'd you say?
I
All right. Any entertainment? Anything else? You like to go to sporting events or anything like that? Any shows, plays?
I like to have it, I don't.
Okay. And then how much would you say you spend on like books or and stuff like that every month?
Um, maybe
What'd you say?
$10.
Your internet is super choppy, I think. Oh, she left. Okay, cool. She said $10 a month. Perfect. All right, she's gone at the moment. I don't know what happened there, but if she hops back in, we'll pick back up. But okay, so $10 a month. And her debt payments are 425, no mortgage. And then she doesn't have an insurance premium. Her health insurance, she's gonna be able to find on her W-2. Let's say it's 350 a month. And then long-term care, probably none, probably no legal protection. And then savings, she already said she's doing $100 a month. Her taxes are here. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna calculate. I'm gonna hit calculate on that button. And so her living expenses, based on everything she told me, is $3,145 a month, which is category A, B, C, D, and E. So A, B, C, D, and E is over here. It's housing, family, leisure. What was this
I'm
one?
back, by the way.
Okay,
Sorry.
you're good. Giving and transportation. It's going to add all of that up, and it's going to show us um, her her living expenses, and then her other expenses is F, G, H, and I. So her taxes is about $1,000 a month. Her savings about $100 a month. Right? She's got her insurance premiums, and then she's got her debt payments. So, Karen, as it is currently, you have about a $20 a month shortfall in your finances to be able to get by every month based on your bills and based on what you told me you're spending. Do you feel like that's an accurate number? Are you feeling like at the end of the month there's a little bit of a squeeze, or do you feel like you have a little bit of additional space?
Um, there's a little bit extra space, maybe because I don't, maybe all those things aren't exactly accurate. I don't know, but
Okay. And the health insurance is just a guess, but she's going to be able to find that on her W-2 as well. So, guys, if she, let's
cut the
say,
car
let's just, what's that?
wash. Dan said cut the car wash.
Car wash, right? Yeah, that's true, Dan. Good job. That's why he was an hour early just to be able to figure that out. Good job, Dan. So, all right, well, let's recalculate this real quick. Hang on, what's happening? $200 a month. Why did that not adjust? It should have adjusted. Calculate. What's it telling me now? What am I doing wrong? Why is it not changing? It should change. Let's see. Let me try to just remove that whole section and see if it does anything. Calculate. Sweet. It's not working right now. So if I let's say her health insurance was $200 a month instead of 350, she's gonna have, Jennifer, an additional $130 a month. Okay, so with that additional 131 or $130 a month, what I'm gonna be able to do is walk her through the things that she needs. Right. So Karen, what we're doing, what we already agreed that you'd be able to do is take that $100 savings per month, right? And be able to dump that into your debt and pay your debt off faster. Is that still something you'd be able to do?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
perfect. So Karen, we have an additional $130 a month that we can work with now. Okay, so Karen, can I show you a couple ideas that $130 could do for you?
sure.
Perfect. And then, guys, she gave me permission to do it. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go into closing the life insurance, and I'm going to go into closing the IRA. So let's say the life insurance is, just for the sake of math, $80 a month for 50,000. It probably wouldn't be that high, but let's just say it is. She's going to have an additional $50 a month that we could then take and either invest or we could pay off debt with. Okay, what I would do, because she's a little bit older, is I would encourage her to put that $50 a month towards her debt, actually, not towards a Roth IRA. Because what I want her to do is pay off her debt as fast as she can, right? Because if she's out of debt, then she can turn around and invest that money. She needs liquid cash. She needs her cash flow to be high. So if I can get her debt paid off, her cash is higher, she can invest more, right? And we can work towards a work-life balance at that point, because based on her FNA, she's going to be short. She's going to probably need to work full time for an extra 10 years, 5 to 10 years. I'm not going to be the bad guy, bearer of bad news on that first call with her. I'm just going to be honest with you. Okay, I'm just going to tell her like, hey, look, like what I want to do with you today, Karen, is I want to get the life insurance set up because you agree that covering expenses and leaving some money behind for your kids is something that you wanted to do, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, perfect. So Karen, you're gonna be able to pay off some debt. We're gonna do your life insurance real quick. And then I'm gonna fill out the application. Okay, I'm gonna submit it. I'm gonna draw the A diagram. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna say, Karen, we have $50 left over from that 130 a month. Okay. So Karen, with that $50 a month, we have two options. Okay, you can either put that $50 a month towards your debt and you get out of debt a little bit quicker, or we could take that $50 a month and start investing that into a Roth IRA, which is going to be tax-free income for you when you go to retire. Karen, which of those two things would you prefer?
Um, I probably get out of debt faster.
Okay, perfect. And I'm going to help her do that. I'm going to show her just, hey, you're going to take your $50 a month, you're going to pay it on that small credit card and get that thing paid off. But guys, here's the kicker, right? Karen has $125 left over in that 401k. You thought I forgot about it, Dan. Don't worry, I didn't. So Karen, you have that old 401k sitting over there, right?
Hmm.
Um, Karen, when was the last time you looked at what that was getting? You said you brought your statements. What's your average rate of return over the last year?
Uh, 8%.
8%. Perfect. Honestly, that's not too bad for old 401ks. To be honest with you, they usually are a lot lower than that. Okay, usually it's like 4 to 6%. But Karen, if I could show you an account that did two things for you. One, it grew your balance. Okay, so over time, your money accumulated, it started to grow, interest started to happen, you started to increase your balance, so you had more money in that account. And two, if we could put some of that money, maybe 50,000 or so, into what's called an income fund, which both grows but also sends you a monthly dividend check off $50,000, it's not going to be a whole lot, maybe 50, $60 a month. But Karen, is that something that you would be interested in looking at?
Sure. You'd have to
Okay.
explain some of that more to me.
Yeah, and then guys, we're getting a little bit into the weeds of investments at this point. But for Karen's situation, what I would do is I would invest her money. I would put some of it probably, well, you'd have to roll it all over into a traditional IRA. But what we would do is we'd put all of that into an account. Well, I'd put some of it into an income fund. I'd put some of it into a balanced mutual fund. So it grows. But the income fund is going to just get reinvested until she's how old? Right? Put it in the Zoom chat. How old do you have to be to draw money out of your IRA? 59 and a half. So once she's 59 and a half, so Karen, once you hit 59 and a half, what we can do with that income fund is we can actually flip it so it stops reinvesting for you and it pays you a check every month. Okay. And what you'd be able to do is you'd be able to take that money and you'd be able to live off of that and it wouldn't eat away at your balance. Okay. Also, if you're not out of debt yet, you'd be able to go ahead and pay that off towards your debt if you wanted to. Okay, but if we could put an extra, say, 50 to $150 a month in your pocket when you're 59, have your money get a better rate of return than where you're at right now and cost you less, Karen, obviously that'd be something you'd want to do, right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Perfect. So, Karen, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get that set up as well, and then I'm going to process the rollover. Now, if you're not securities licensed, you need to have somebody who is to do that, obviously. Um, and that's a whole nother training for a whole nother day. But guys, that's how I do my FNAs. I was in and out a lot of talking to her and talking to you guys. That whole appointment is maybe 30 minutes without doing any transactions. If I'm doing the life insurance, if I gotta overcome any objections, the A diagram, all that stuff, I mean, it's maybe another 15 minutes. And then if I'm doing any sort of investment rollover, anything like that, that's another 20 to 30 minutes. So I might not get all that done on the same call, but I'm definitely going for the life insurance for sure. Right. And then I'm gonna at least at minimum open up or try to open up a shell account for her IRA and schedule a call back for the next day. Any questions? By the way, the way Jerome goes through that is probably going to be a lot different than I did. But either way, we're still going through it. We're still getting the main things done, right? Dan, go ahead.
Because she has a shortfall, did you recruit her?
Yeah, probably. But she didn't have she has a retirement shortfall, but she doesn't have a monthly shortfall. And the main thing I'm trying to do right now is get the business. Right? Because after I get the business, I got to get the referrals, right? So here's how I get the referrals. So awesome, Karen. Let's assume we did all the business. It's been an hour and 20 minutes, right? So Karen, thank you so much for, your hour and a half today. I really appreciate it. Karen, do you feel good about the things that we did today? You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I said I think it's going to help me a lot. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Karen, remember at the beginning of the call how I told you we had two payments, non-cash payments that we asked people to do if they see value in what we do?
Yes, I remember.
Awesome. Well, Karen, obviously you just became a client because you saw value in what we're going to do, right? So the other part of that was the referrals. So Karen, who were those two people, who's the first person you were thinking of that would be a good person for me to reach out to based on what we just did today and how we helped you?
Um, one of a few of my kids, actually all my kids. So my son.
Perfect. Your son sounds like a pretty cool guy. He's your favorite, right?
Yes, of course.
All right, perfect. And then I'm just gonna get the referrals.
And then
The
put
reason
in
you're
your,
not get the reason y'all are not getting your referrals on your FNA is because you're not doing that. You're just not asking. Leah, what's up?
So I know what I do, but just for everybody, if there is a shortfall, one, I get that you pitched the opportunity, but have you guys ever utilized, like I always recommend them do a spending audit because maybe their numbers are off in their budget. Or,
Yeah,
because I don't want to sell if there's something, if they can't pay the bill.
yeah.
So it's just kind of with that thought process of like, if there is a shortfall and you don't want to sell something because what if they can't pay the bill? What's
Yeah,
your
so
next
let's
best bet?
say she had a $500 a month shortfall, right? Um, I would say, Karen, what I want you to do, because she told me also that it didn't feel super tight, right? She felt like she had some money left over at the end of the month. That's great. So, Karen, what I want you to do for the next week, right? We're going to schedule, let's say we schedule a call back to do our IRA rollover for a week from now. So, Karen, what I want you to do over the next week is track every dollar that you spend. Okay, so open up a spreadsheet and put like food and eating out and gas and all these different things. And for the next week, every time you make a purchase, I want you to just put that on the list and total it up for the next time we get together. Okay, that'll give me a really good idea of what you're spending every week, which will allow me to multiply that over the month so I can figure out about how much you're actually spending. Okay, Karen, can you do that over the next week before we get back together? Leah, is that kind of what you do ish?
Ish.
Yeah, it's not gonna be
I'm a
the
little more
same.
thorough because like I want to help them and I get that we don't get paid. But if I really show them how I'm different than the
Yeah,
other people or the TikTokers, I'm gonna get their business.
yeah, for sure. And so like I said, this is me talking, right? What I do is I try to make it as short and digestible as possible, right? So like I'm just like, hey, just track everything for the next week, and when we get back together, let's look. And if we get back in a week, Jennifer, and you haven't tracked anything, I'm gonna ask you to pull up your bank account. Right. Okay. Jennifer, let's look at like pull up your bank account. Let's look at everything that you spent in the last week. You don't have to show me your balance, but let's look at it. Right. And I'm going to go through it. I'm just going to look at it. I don't have to do that very often. And I don't do that very often, but you can. You absolutely can. All right. We got about 2 minutes. Marissa, what's up? What you got?
So, my just after going through this, the FNA seems kind of like essential to even establish how much insurance they need. Because I
Yes.
feel like one of my clients, like we asked her how much she needed, and I'm like, we didn't even ask, like, okay, well, your husband makes this much money, he makes more than $50,000. So if something happens to him, your life insurance is not even going to cover his income.
Yeah.
So is there in the future, can you like maybe go back and change things or like maybe in a review or I don't know.
Yeah.
How
Or
would
just
you?
do a client review and do an FNA.
Okay.
And you just tell them like who sold the policy to her.
Um, I did, but I was on the call with Jerome. That
Okay.
was
Yeah. So
my,
I mean, like a lot, like let's just be real. How old is this lady?
I think that like she's a little, maybe like 56,
Yeah. So
but their
like
policy hasn't been approved yet. It's still an underwriting, but
yeah, so it's kind of
she's
an
old.
opportunity cost thing, right? Like so like for her, I mean, if you got $150,000 a month, how much is she paying? Or how much was the quote?
I think it was like $70 for
Yeah,
like
okay. So she got
$50,000.
$150,000 and let's say she
No,
needs
50,000.
50,000.
Yeah, that's what we
Okay.
asked her how much she wanted, and she said 50,000.
Yeah,
Gave
so
her that script.
okay, if she's paying $70 a month for 50,000, let's just say that you get her to 500,000 because that's probably more along the lines of what she would need. And she's gonna have to pay let's say $500 a month with price breaks. It's going to be more than that, but let's just say $500 a month, right? Is that something, would you, I'm asking, genuinely asking this question, like, and you don't have to answer this, like, this is a rhetorical question to all of you. Would you feel good selling a $500 a month term insurance policy to a 50-year-old lady?
Hmm.
No, right? No. So there's the opportunity cost is what I'm talking about, right? If like, because she could take that extra $430 a month and invest that into an IRA or pay
Right.
off her debt, right? So there is like there is some flex inside of your FNA, right? The FNA is a really good skeleton, but you gotta and Marissa, I'm not like coming at you with this, but like you guys have to be able to use your brain inside the FNA and be like, oh well, Primerica says you need $7.9 million of life insurance and you're 48 years old and have no money invested at all. That's going to be $1,000 a month for life insurance. Like that is
Yeah.
stupid. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right? That is the dumbest thing in the world. I would never sell $1,000 a month life insurance policy.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're talking about somebody who's running a multi-million-dollar company and it's like a key man policy, like very, very, very niche circumstances. Like your
Yeah.
everyday consumer, like you should, this is my opinion, but you should very rarely be over $200 a month.
Yeah.
Very, very rarely. Because they need to be investing, right? They
Right.
need to be investing. And at the end of the day, like I might catch flack on my position on that from people in Primerica or from home office or from other agents because of my viewpoint on that. But like I don't care about getting a big fat premium and having a broke client 30 years from now.
Hmm.
Right.
Right.
So I would rather you have I would rather Karen have a $50,000 a month life insurance policy and invest more than have a $200 a month life insurance policy so I can get an extra $80 bonus.
Right.
Right. Like that's like you're like we're literally playing with people's retirement here.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why I love Primerica because we're the only company that's going to sit here and like yes, the FNA is there. The FNA is good. It's a great tool. You need to use it. But you also got to use your brain, right? The best tool you have is your brain, right? And so, like, if you have a client that has no money invested and they're like, well, I want life insurance, it's like, okay, cool. Well, like, you need to be investing also. So, like, let's split it in half. You want to spend $100 a month? We're putting something towards life insurance because I'm not going to leave your husband with no money having to bury you, having to go into debt to take care of everything. Right? I'll say that. I don't care. I'll straight up say that to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. I just
Right?
guess
Like,
my point is like without seeing that full financial picture, I feel like it'd be kind of, I don't want to say hard to advise that, but I'd want to get the bigger picture because that makes total sense. And I
yeah, and
didn't
that's
do
why
that.
like that's why I don't really close on the first appointment anymore on the FNA, right? Like I never even learned like I never even understood 95% of the stuff in the FNA until I started talking to Jerome and Mel more often. Right? So you gotta like just learn the FNA and go through it a few times and see it.
Yeah.
Right. The FNA is a great tool, but the FNA is also not the law. So like you can vary
Okay.
off of it a little bit. Like you can use your brain and make educated decisions. And like with Karen, she had like a 15-year income replacement. Like she does not need a 15-year income replacement. She's in this instance single, no kids at home. Like she doesn't need a lot of life insurance.
Mm,
But the computer's like, oh, she needs 15 years of income replacement. No, she does not. So
mm.
that's why I adjusted that. Right. So just use your brain on that stuff. So, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well, it's 9:05, guys. I hope this was helpful. Y'all have a great night. I'll see you later.